Oh, good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank my lecturer for giving me the opportunity to deliver this presentation today. And I would like to thank to all of my friends for your attention. My name is Selanoris Kabardana with student number 240020330021. And in this presentation, I will discuss one research article entitled perceptions of Indonesian teachers and students of the use of Quipper School as online platform for extended EFL learning. This article was written by Agustina and Chayana and published in 2017. The study focused on the use of Quipper School in English language teaching, more especially in discusses how Quipper School can be used as an online platform to support extended EFL learning or learning activities outside the regular classroom. In this presentation, I will explain the background, previous studies, and research gap, research aim, method and findings, strengths and limitation, and the last one is conclusion of the article. As we know, English is an important subject in Indonesian schools. However, school English is learned as a foreign language, so students do not always have many chances to use English in their daily life. Because of that, students need to enough practice, exposure, and feedback to improve their English skills. The problem is English learning in the classroom is often limited by time. Students usually only meet their English teacher for a few hours each week. Because of this limitation, teachers might not have enough time to give more exercises, explain all material deeply, or provide individual feedback for every student. Because of these conditions, the technology can become a useful support. Online platforms can help teachers continue the learning process outside the classroom. In this article, the researchers discuss Quipper School as one of the platforms that can support English learning. Through Quipper School, teachers can provide materials, give assignments, set deadlines, check student scores, and give feedback. Students can also access the material and complete the task more flexibly outside the classroom. Moving to the next slide, the researcher explained that many previous studies had discussed the use of technology in English teaching. Some studies focus on blended learning, multimedia learning, social media, and computer-assisted language learning. It can help students access material more easily, encourage motivation, and support independently learning. However, based on this article, studies that specifically discuss Quipper School in the Indonesian EFL context were still limited. Most previous studies discuss technology in general, but not many studies focus on Quipper School, a specific online platform for extended English learning. Because of this gap, Agustina and Cahyana conducted the study to investigate teachers and students' perceptions of Quipper School. The researchers want to know how teachers and students viewed the platform and whether it was usable and what problem appeared during this implementation. As you can see on the slide, the main aim of this study was to investigate the perceptions of Indonesian teachers and students toward the use of paper school. In this context, perceptions refers to how teachers and students view, experience, and respond to paper school in English learning. The researchers want to know the benefits of the problem, the way it was used, and the challenges faced by both teacher and students. This aim important because the success of technology in education does not only depend on the platform itself. It also depends on how teachers and students use it in the learning process. So the study tried to understand whether Clipper School could really support extended EFL learning, especially outside regular classroom meetings. Now moving to the research method, this study used a descriptive qualitative design. A qualitative design was chosen because the researchers want to understand teachers and students' opinion and experiences in detail. The study did not focus on numbers of or the test scores. Instead, it focused on the participant responses toward the use of Quipper School. Participants were three English teachers and six students from a senior high school in Mojokerto, East Java. These participants had experience in using Quipper School for English learning. The data were collected through semi-structured interviews, and this means that the researchers prepared some questions, but the participants could still explain their answer freely. Through this method, the researchers could get deeper information about the benefits, problem, and implementation of Keeper School. Based on the findings, the teachers had positive perception toward the use of Keeper School. The teachers believed that Keeper School helped them support English learning outside the classroom. Since classroom time was limited, this platform became useful for giving students additional exercises and learning material. Through Keeper School, teachers could choose material, assign tasks, set deadlines, and check student scores. And this feature made it easier for teachers to manage learning activities outside regular class meetings. Another important point is that teachers could monitor student progress and they could see whether students had completed the task or not. They could also check student scores and identify which students needed more support. And from this finding, we can understand that the Quipper was not only used as place for homework. It also functioned as a supporting tools to extend English learning beyond the classroom. Next, the study also found that the students had positive responses toward Clipper School. Students used the platform for several purposes, such as doing homework, completing remedial tasks, preparing for tests, and practicing English outside the classroom. It shows that Quipper School gives students more chance to learn independently. One important benefit mentioned in the study was the feedback features. Through feedback, students could know their strength and weakness after completing the task. They could see which part they already understood and which part still needed improvement. This feature helps students learn from their mistakes, so they did not only submit assignment but they could also reflect on their learning progress. However, the student also found a problem. The most common problem was internet connection, and some students could not access the platform smoothly because of unstable internet access. This shows that online learning still depends on good technical support. Based on the findings, Kuiper's school has several strengths and limitations. The strengths include flexible access to learning materials, exercises, core analysis, and feedback. For flexible access, allows students to learn outside the classroom. Learning material and exercise help students get more practice. Analysis helps teachers monitor student progress, while feedback helps students understand their mistakes. However, there are also some limitations. One limitation is core reliability. Teachers were concerned that students might not complete tasks independently. Since students work outside the classroom, there was also a possibility of cheating. Another limitation is internet connection. Students need stable internet access to use the platform properly. If the connection is unstable, the learning process can be interrupted. Therefore, although Quipper School is useful, teachers still need to supervise the learning process and guide students in using the platform responsibly. Based on this research findings, it can be concluded that Quipper School has a positive role in supporting in extended EFL learning. The platform helps teachers provide additional material exercises, assignment deadlines, and feedback outside regular classroom meetings. It also helps teachers monitor students' progress more easily. From the students, Quipper School gives them more opportunities to practice English independently, and it helps them complete tasks, prepare for the test, and learn from feedbacks. It can support student learning autonomy and awareness of their own progress. However, Quipper schools do not fully replace face-to-face learning. It is better used as a complementary platform that support classroom instruction. In other words, technology can make English learning more flexible, but teachers still have an important role in guiding, monitoring, and evaluating students. To close this presentation, I would like to highlight one important point from this research. Technology can support English learning, but teach technology alone is not enough. Quipper School can provide materials, exercises, feedback, and flexible access. However, teachers are still needed to guide the learning process, design meaningful tasks, and make sure that students use the platform responsibly. This is relevant to English education because students need to continuous practice to improve their English skills. Through online platforms like Quipper School, learning can continue outside the classroom. That is all of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope this presentation give a clear explanation about the use of Quipper School in extended EF learning. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.